welcome, everybody.
Woohoo!
No Limits Ranch. Carolyn and Andy is our guest today. Not our guest, our family
Bam.
on
Bam.
ATS Voices. We love them so much, and we've all had the privilege of just meeting and being blessed by them in so many amazing ways. And we welcome our guests that are on here live, and also guests that will be watching, friends, family that will be watching down the road. We want to, one of the reasons why we want to have, we have started ATS Voices is to get people's voices out. And those that are in our family, we just love to hear their stories and just love family and relationships. For all of you who know ATS, it's the QRST, it's the quantum relational synergetic trading that we do on a daily basis. And it's our one of our main pillars. P48, Philippians 4:8 is our other pillar that we really focus on. And so we love you guys. And so I personally just want to hand the mic, so to speak, over to Carolyn and Andy so they can share their story. And we'll probably have questions and whatnot throughout this hour. And so without further ado, Carolyn and Andy. No limit.
Thank you so much. We're so thrilled to be here. We're so excited, and we just love our family,
Our peeps.
our peeps. That's right. We've been here for a few years now,
Yep.
and so yeah. So Andy, from okay, we were talking about before when No Limits Ranch started, or how we started. I said, well, mine started like 66 years ago, and Andy started 26. But really, when did our journey start, so to speak? Was it when you were in junior high and you would get dressed up to go to school
Yes,
as a CEO?
that's right.
What did you look like?
So funny.
I well, thank you, Tina. When I was in my junior high in high school, I was wearing a shirt, tie, and a sport jacket, and
White
like
shirts.
yeah, of course, and but again, it's still in my junior high, and I was very not cute. I was very handsome. Back in the day, I was.
In his power suit, knowing that one day
Mhm.
he would have his own business.
And so I did, and I graduated, and I had this thought like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Well, yes. Well, that's what it. Well, I don't know. I forgot. I don't know what I said.
Well, I'll help you.
Okay.
Okay, so he carried this on through, knowing he was going to be a businessman. And I should have gotten him a briefcase, but I didn't. Just enough to see him come downstairs in the morning in a
Okay.
power suit.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, am I done?
No.
Yeah, he
And
remembered.
so he would get, all of a sudden I had this epiphany. He would get on the bus, and sit in the front seat, and he would be like, I'm going off to do business. And
Yep.
you were like most popular kid in junior high and high school.
Yes. And I was 18 back in the day because my grandpa was 18 and he was in high school, and then it's like, passed down to him to me. So I was 18. I was in high school. I was famous back in the day.
In high school, he was.
Yes, in
Yeah.
high school, and then so I graduated when I was 18, and so well, in 2016, that's the year I done in school, and I have this thought, but I had engagement time with Yeshua, with Jesus, and he told me, he said, Andy, I am going to to expand you, um, and and even I gave my business to make Kisadek since I was 17. And
Can I fill in a little bit? Fill
Sure.
in the blanks?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, when he graduated high school, there were a couple of years after that that I just I knew he was not supposed to go out and do a specific kind of a job, you know. He was more or less, we were doing conferences and he was just building up who, you know, he was in the spirit. And then it was it was 2018, I believe, and I was painting. I've been an artist my whole life.
16.
I graduated with an art degree, and I was working at the time for a good friend of mine who has a beautiful faux finishing decorative art business in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And she still does. She's phenomenal. And so I was able to learn from her. And then I was painting this piece of furniture, and Holy Spirit said to me, go in the garage and get a chair, get the small kid's chair, and bring it in and teach Andy how to paint it. And that is how it started. And so because his daddy, my husband Bill, has been in construction and been in remodeling and home building his whole life, he taught Andy how to sand and so forth. Now I have to say this, talking with our dear friend Mr. Timothy Bentz and hearing his part of our business, how Jesus showed him back when we had just met, and that was like 8 or 9 years ago. He's got a part in our business too, and that's his story to tell. It's really phenomenal. As a matter of fact, he talks about it on one of his YouTube talks that he did. I think he was in Florida or something like that. It's great. So anyway, it takes more than one, right? So anyway, I taught him how to paint, and we posted it on Facebook. I didn't know how to do all that kind of stuff back then, you know, and I said, oh, let's really jump into this. Let's do a live. Let's do a Facebook Live. So he's doing this first chair, he gives it away. Second chair, he gives away. It's children's chairs, you know, as first fruits. We knew about that. And so then he gets another one and he's like, I know what I want to do, right? I'm going to paint this chair. What was the name of your first chair? Do you remember? It was white with gold. And then I covered the seat in a gold fabric. Do you remember what it was called?
Rest.
Yes, Rest.
Rest.
And we posted it on Facebook and he talked about it. I evidently, this is part of our brand, where when Andy gets a download and he paints it, and then he talks about the meaning behind it, boom, somebody connects with it and it's gone. And so I got a message saying, I want that chair. That's for me. Well, you know, that was like, I don't know how much she paid for the chair. I think maybe $50 back then, 75. This was 7 years ago. And now they're going for 1,000 plus, you know, so our journey has just been amazing. So over the years, you learned how to paint, you named everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved from, this was in Fort Worth, Texas. Then we moved to the outskirts of Little Rock, Arkansas, as a stepping stone to where we live now. And then that's where there wasn't really anything else to do for 4 years. So, and that was like on purpose by Yeshua. And so we really got into the business. And then you started to paint canvases.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so with that, remember your first canvases that you wanted to do?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The whole galactic thing?
Yes. I was into galaxies because I love galaxies. I love how I stare at the night sky, because whatever I stare at the night sky, oh my gosh, awesome. Okay, so when I was stare at the night sky, I saw Jesus there, and I got this. It wasn't a download. It was an encounter. I had an encounter with Jesus. sorry.
Oh, no, speak. Go
and,
ahead. You're
and
good.
and then so and when I had an encounter with 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 one of his angels, it's so amazing. That's how I first got into my canvas paintings, because it is so out of my encounters with him, with Yeshua.
That's when you wanted to do the Eye of God, the Heart of God, the
Mhm.
Hand of God
Yes.
series.
And then I always thought, can I do the face of God? So I can do the face of God.
Hadn't done that one yet.
Well, well, his face is like full of stars, galaxies. That's his face.
Well, I concur with that because there's a story about that too.
Mhm.
But
Wow.
anyway, let's talk about then how you, because of your peers and people around us on Facebook reaching
Mhm.
out. I mean, it's in that time where we went from a few friends on Facebook to like 6,000 within a very short amount of time. And so we started to give rocking chairs, of which we named No Limits rocking chairs, to kiddos with disabilities and to young kids, because these were children's rocking chairs. So just in a way to trade into them and their parents saying, hey, no limits.
That's right. That's right. Because even I have that word, no limits, because when I was born, my parents never ever accidentally never putting limits on me. So that's why we have the name of my business, the name of the ranch. That's why it's called No Limits Art, No Limits Ranch, because they are fully one, fully connect. Because when the Lord gave a download on a counter with 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 my mom, and she was in the car, and the Lord said, kids with abilities,
with disabilities,
yes, and
their families,
yes, and their families, and and veterans and their families, the No Limits Ranch. So, and she was shocked how the Lord gave her of that download, right?
Well, that's right, honey, because you were, because of your peers, you were giving back to kiddo, with disabilities. But then his older brother, my son, he's 36 now, and he was in Iraq, and he came home a disabled veteran. And so he's had much healing, and it's just really phenomenal. But in that journey, Andy turned into this philanthropist where we had opportunities with other artists and then on his own to give through his artwork thousands of dollars to Project Healing Waters, Fly Fishing, Lone Survivor, and for disabled veterans. And that really, really took off. And so in his heart, in doing this artwork, Patriot series and whatnot, I'm like Andy said, I was driving home, I got my hair cut, and I'm going, okay, Yahweh, I know that there's a connection between what he's doing with disabled veterans and these kiddos. What is this connection? And that's when, like you said, I got the download, and it was like, the Trinity just boom, and it exploded in me, and I knew what to do. I knew the next step. Bill and I, on our anniversary, we had to come up here to Elk Trace Ranch and talk to the owner. And we came up for our anniversary, and we talked with her about booking a week for kiddos to come with disabilities. And Jesus said, I want horses, I want art, and these other things that we do that has now grown. And so we did it. We stepped out, we did it. And then we did a second one. And I have a fantastic hospitality team that comes from the Dallas-Fort Worth area that I worked with. and they come up and do our hospitality, the best food and everything. And then we work with people that have the therapy horses. And then Andy and I teach art, and it's so much fun, just so much fun. So the first one, it was kind of safe. So we reached out to people that we knew. So it was like, okay, guys, here, this is a test run, for our first year. And it went really, really well. So then on our second one, we finished our second one, and we had the opportunity to sit down and talk with the owner of Elk Trace Ranch Bed and Breakfast in beautiful Pagosa Springs, Colorado, with the stunning big mountain views of the San Juan Mountains. Absolutely stunning. Just ask Paul. And so she had some things happen where she needed some help. And so she said, we said, okay, we would love to come up here and expand No Limits Ranch and what we're doing and be a part of the chamber and the town. Can we work something out with you where we help you and we can grow our business? And she said, when can you get here? And that was in October. I said, well, we can get here in March, because Holy Spirit said, go during spring break, my son's spring break. And so I'm like, oh, that's March. So we came in March. And the day that we got here, the next day we had like 27 inches of snow. It's just like, welcome, So I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all the confetti falling from the sky, celebrating. Here we are.
Yep.
So we have been here now a year next month. And this is our promised land. We are not in our inherited land, where the one that Yahweh said to me, I've hidden your home in my armpit. And I told that to Tim Bentz, and he said, wow, that's so interesting that Jesus would hold your house in his very essence, with his sweat and oils and everything like that. And I'm like, ew, okay. But I took that and ran with it, and then entered into the oil of his essence. And I'm like, golly. And that was a whole other thing. So we are in a place now where, like, for a year that we have been growing and learning how to run a 5-star bed and breakfast, of which we do very well, getting to know people in the town, having amazing connections, and wake up and and just build relationships. And so anyway, but we know that we will be moving from here. And I don't think it's in the too distant future to, I'm not going to say, who you think you're going to, the final destination. It's like, oh, well, we got one more stop for you, So I'm like, we're on our way. We know that this beautiful place right here is temporary. It's been learning, and it's been an incubation time for our business. And can I have to say this, though. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but for me, coming here into our promised area, the Pagosa Springs, Southern Colorado area, has been personally one of the most difficult times of my life, because, I don't understand it all, but knowing that we're here, doing what we're supposed to be doing, it has not been easy, but because I've got something in me, and I know it's the force. I call it the force, and it's just Holy Spirit. I don't know, Yeshua. I don't know. Just this force. It's like, don't stop, Carolyn. Don't stop. Because in this 7 years, I have wanted to throw in the towel, but I knew I wouldn't. I knew I couldn't, because my why is this kid right here. This is my why for the business that we do. And so in spite of it all, in spite of the losing it, the crying, the, just having a really hard time. Well, okay, so you come from sea level and you go to 7,800, 8,000 feet. That takes some getting used to. That took me 3 to 4 months to get used to that. And so I'm going, oh my gosh, is something wrong with me? And you're going, Jesus, what's wrong with you? But you're dealing with the altitude I didn't know this. And then because you're coming in and we're coming in as a steward and we're bringing in sonship, there's other people around that don't like it. And so they just don't treat you like other people that our sons do. And also the guests that are here, and we help with the property, we help with the bed and breakfast, and greeting the guests and getting them to their rooms and everything. And not everyone is just super friendly.
Yep.
And as nice as you are, because you represent kingdom, and also the business here. So it has been difficult, but I feel like when we crossed over into 2024, that something happened. Once my husband Bill and I got the understanding that this is not our forever home. And when we got that agreement and that knowing, oh my gosh, this is so great. So great. So we're going to be able to go to a place
Yep.
on our ranch that has, what we can have our kiddos come in with their families, because Jesus said, I want families. It's not just a summer camp where you send your kid, and then disabled vets and their families.
Yep.
We can have our Highland cattle.
Yep.
We can have our teepees that we want to put up, real Native American teepees.
Yep.
That for experience, for an adventure as a family, that people leave having bonded and just letting Yahweh do his work. Because I remember the day that I was walking up here. This was a few years ago, and I saw Yahweh in gold write his name, Yod He Vav He, across No Limits Ranch. And when he did that, he said funded. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So when he did that and said funded, because when we do an event, I go for $20,000 for a week, because we pay, we have to pay for room and board, and we do the best food. And we're up here at Elk Trace. It's 5 stars. It's beautiful, right, Paul? And and so it's and then we have a chuck wagon meal, a hoedown, and a silent auction on that last night. And so we have a band coming in that's very popular around town that brings people in. And then then we take Andy's artwork and my artwork, and of which for me, I work on it, like all year to get it ready. So we've got this great gallery for people to be able to purchase from. And that's just so much fun. And then the kids come in and they dance, and we have dance classes before, so that they can do the country dances that we have, and the food is great. It's just so much fun. And then after, we have done it where all the funding came through Andy's artwork, through the sale of his work. And then also people who just love us. It's like, here, we want to trade into you, or we, some don't even know that terminology. So it's like, here's $5,000. We love what you're doing, and we just love Andy. And I'm like, yeah, and so, things like that. And so it's always been funded. And then because in learning about, wisdom, understanding, and largeness of heart, when my team comes together, you want to bless and give them an honorarium. And so I like to give a generous honorarium to those that travel across the country to come and help us do the very best of all of our abilities to put on a great week for our kiddos. And so anyway, Andy, why don't you share about Bojangles and what you do with him, with the kids, okay?
Sure. When I speak into my future, I was not speaking to my mama. I was speaking into my future about how I got the name Bojangles. I saw a family of horses, and this one horse was named Durban, which means which means city dweller, which is I don't like the name. And so that's his real name. Like, well, it's gone. Well, I don't think I'm going to mention it because his name is not just Durbin, but his name is Bojangles because when I named him Bojangles because of that song Bojangles Dance, and so that's how I got the name Bojangles on how
Mr.
I
Bojangles.
on how I
Well, tell who is Mr. Bojangles?
well,
He's
yes.
the rescue horse
yes,
that has been made into a therapy horse
that's right.
right here on property.
Yep.
So what do you do with Mr. Bojangles in front of all the people?
What I do is called How to Connect with Your Horse. And then and Sharon is my best friend, and I of course
She's a horse trainer.
Yes, and she's been teaching me how to do this. It's called a collaboration. Me and Bo, and so I doing that, just doing like this
In the round pen, you
yes.
take Mr. Bojangles in the round pen where we have bleachers where all the kiddos and the families were sitting, and
Mhm.
they had a morning full of horse therapy with our therapists who come in
Mhm.
and work with them on the horses. But then after that, Andy said, now that you have ridden, now I want to show you how to connect with your horse.
Yes,
So you took Bojangles into the round pen.
that's right. So I put him in the round pen, and so to show how the kids will just to become okay. So now Andy has now showed us, being as the teacher, has been teaching us how to see how to connect with your horse is by like a cluck, and then and you call his name like Bo, come. And I just walk around
With the carrot stick.
with a carrot stick.
I mean, not a real carrot stick, but
Yeah.
a stick with a string on it that you direct your horse, right?
Yes. And so I do that, and in the grand finale, he went towards me. I didn't even call him. He just walked towards me, and then he stared at my face. He stared at my face. So when I do like this, he moves, and whenever I do this, he moves right there. Because that's on that's how you connect with your horse.
That
Spirit to
it's so
spirit.
exciting. Pardon me?
Spirit
Yes.
to
Yes.
spirit.
Oh, his
Yes.
horses really pick that up very, very well.
And so when I was in youth camp, I met an awesome woman called Tony. She's an awesome horse breeder.
Up the road, who has a Eagle's Nest youth camp, and she does horse therapy with them.
Okay, listen. This is awesome. This is so awesome. I got a horse. Her name is Genesis, and I knew her name was Genesis. I just named her by her Hebrew name, Bereshit.
That's awesome.
Bereshit was the name of Genesis, and so when I met this horse, this is so awesome. I was in the this was my it was my first time. I was in the round pen. I was just chilling, and she went towards me and laid her head on my shoulder.
Immediate connection with Bereshit.
Amazing. And so that's on how you connect with the horse. That's how you reconnect yourself with the Lord. And you're doing because when I see her face in my face, head to forehead, and I knew, without a doubt, I knew the face of God was in that horse.
And she saw the face of God in you.
That's right.
It was really an amazing
Yes.
experience.
So yes, so that's my first encounter I had with him,
with a horse.
with a horse.
Yes. And so anyway, now what we're doing is Andy, because of his artwork of late that has been selling like crazy,
Right.
which has just been like amazing. One of the women who is very influential that we honor very much in this town, she owns a phenomenal art gallery, and across from the art gallery, she is building an art garden. And at the end of June, you have to be asked to be an artist to come and be a part of that and to sell your work. She contacted me and wants Andy to be a part. And so I am like, yes. And she also is very involved with the horses that we use for our ranch. She does rescue therapy horses too. Yep. And she's been a great support of No Limits Ranch. So now, the end of June, yep, we're getting ready to for Andy and I to go and be a part of this, and for him to share on some of his pieces we have never put out before. Yep. And we're going to put out for sale, like his Patriot series, and then a few of his other big pieces that are Heaven Invades Earth, and then Enter Through the Door, that are just like, oh my gosh, these amazing big pieces that when he starts explaining, like he does. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the marketplace, yes, when you start talking like you do.
I think we had to go ahead and travel to Farmington to go to. Let me get more. Wait, no, I'm not a journalist, but I am really I'm a spiritual artist sent by God. And he wants me to say, Andy, keep on, moving forward, because he wants me to succeed my business, because I gave my business when I was just only 17 or 18.
Well, it was probably the first year in business. Yes. So you were 19, I think.
I was. So when I was 19 years old, Paul, this is awesome. I just had another encounter. His name is Melchizedek, and I knew he was Melchizedek because I have encountered with him and say, okay, what can I do? Melchizedek, he said, well, I'm here to say by God. And Father has said, would you lay down your business? And so I said, yes, by faith, I give you my business up to you. And so I did. And now he told me, Andy, now I have your business. I will take care of your business as you take care of my business, which means I am doing his business. My business is with him. He's doing my business. And now I'm doing his business on the earth as well, because I just love doing encounters. They're fun. They always wreck me. I mean, they're awesome.
And then you go paint them.
I do.
Yeah. You know, when he told me, he said, Mom, he came to me and said, Mom, I gave my business to Melchizedek. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I'm like, what do I know? Yeah, I don't know. And so he comes, you know, I had never met Melchizedek at the time. That's changed since then. But I'm like, do you do that? You know, and I know he helped me on this. He is over the treasuries, the chancellor of the treasuries of heaven. And I think I'm right on that. Correct me, Paul or Jeff, you know, and Tina. And so anyway, I'm like, well, you know what? The keeper of the keys. Ooh, yes.
Mm.
And so anyway, I'm like, well, you know what? I trust Andy's relationship with Yahweh so much that I'm like, Andy, I come into agreement with you. If that's what you have done, you have laid it down, traded back into Melchizedek as, you know, as Yahweh said, then let's just keep moving forward and just see what happens, you know?
That's what he told me. He said, Andy, I just want you to move forward of your business because he's allowing me to go higher, to go more higher of what he's been calling me to do. He said, Andy, Andy, I want you to do this. I want you to do that, because he said, right, okay, Lord, I will. And then so I came downstairs and said, Mom, I want to do the Eye of God. And so I did. And so I know what it looks like, but I know I was looking up, it was called the Eye of God Nebula. He's been speaking to me through nebulas, Paul. I mean,
I think nebulas in the sky are so beautiful.
they just wrecked me, Paul. They just wrecked me down in my spirit. Because I knew I had an encounter with him. And so when I look up in the heavens, up in the sky, I said, Andy, I just wanted to do my eye. And so I did. I know what his eye looks like. I know exactly deep inside of my spirit. I know what I'm going to do his eye, because we know we are full of eyes, you know.
You know, when Andy first started, I was a little nervous. Well, I was a lot nervous, you know, being his mom and then being an artist. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Andy, do you want to put those colors together? Or Andy, you know, and so anyway, when we first started, we co-labored together.
Mhm.
And we were in agreement on that, right?
Yes.
And it was
Yep.
also a way of teaching you, because I
Yes.
know back in the Renaissance how the master would teach his students, like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, he would have students, and then he would work a piece with them, you know. And so anyway, that's what we did in the very beginning. We would work together.
Mhm.
But we came to a place where Holy Spirit said, now Carolyn, go. The student, and I'm like, oh, thank God. So I would go for a walk or whatever, and I would come back and can Andy just get up and get one of his latest ones that he did? Is that okay? And show it up here? Why don't you go and get like one of the last ones, the big ones that you did?
Okay.
So I go for a walk now, you know, or whatever, do my thing. And then he is just so, he just does the thing. And then, you know, we talk about it. We do a live and talk about it, and it sells. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh. So thank God that the teacher now has able to step away because the student is ready. So anyway, so these are a couple that he's done
Yes.
in the past couple of days. Here, I'll hold it back here.
Okay. All right. So when I was doing listening to Nancy Cohen, I know what I was doing because I was scribing on my work here. So so this is how creation is responding, and heaven is doing heaven is responding, all creation is responding as returning sons.
As original intent, right?
As an original intent, yes. So this is one of my quill paintings.
And then he finished it, and I walked in and I'm going, oh my gosh, because the frequency off of this thing is like, man, it's like, oh geez, Andy, that's so amazing. He said, Mom, I have to do another one. I have to do another one. So I just happened to have another 16 by 20. And so he did this one too, that is the same theme.
Yes. And these are called the angels, are just circling over creation, and how creation responds of heaven is responding of the same sound and the frequency of the earth,
Of original intent.
of the original intent.
So that's two of the latest ones that he has done, and just how he thinks. And I'm like, this is great. So this is what we're going to be bringing to our first art show.
That's right.
At the end of June, is something that I can guarantee Pagosa Springs has never seen before.
Yeah.
And especially when he starts talking, which is the whole reason, the whole art and the whole thing is what No Limits Ranch was birthed out of it.
Mhm.
And then there's other businesses being birthed out of what we call No Limits Art, came No Limits Ranch. And then
Yep.
we have our bliss boxes now that are my gourmet cookies that I've created over the years. It's another thing when I was just going along, tootling, and then here comes this download: bliss boxes, bliss bites, bliss bars, bliss bombs, bliss brownies. And I'm just boom. And I'm like, oh, I know what to do. Oh my gosh. So this Valentine's Day we started, and that is a way that we, can, because I have a cottage license and I bake currently out of our house, I can only sell to Colorado, but for a donation of, a certain amount, we will give a gift to you and can share that throughout the country. Whether you buy a 6-pack or a whole big box, full of cookies like one of our family members did. And, and so all of those things, it's the very ground floor of, at one point in the lodge that we will have on our property, we'll have the Blissful Bison, and it will be brew and bakes, and it's fresh brewed coffee and our bakes that we have there. So it's a part of the process.
Yep.
in No Limits Ranch when we have our own property.
So this would be a
Question?
great way, a great segue into how do we find these items, what websites, and how do we trade into you guys or sew into you guys or buy these paintings or whatever you guys are doing?
Oh, thanks. Thank
Wow,
you.
thank
Well,
you.
our website is thatnolimitsranch.com. And then you can click on support the vision. And then there's a different, you can support our highlands, because when we have our own property, we're going to have our own highland cattle. And then we're going to have the little mini moos
Yep.
that are so adorable that, yes, we will dress up for our kiddos, and parents can take photos. And it's just, yes, so great. And then also to help support our horses, with their care.
Yep.
And so forth, our therapy horses. And then there's another one about trading into our events. Any one of those you can click on, it just goes right into the same PayPal. And so anyway, there's that. And then also on Facebook, whether it's my personal page, Carolyn Arnold, or the No Limits Ranch or No Limits Art, and we pretty much show the same thing over all of those, seeing I do it. And we have Andy's work is on there, and I keep showing, regularly what is available, like I just did yesterday. And it's like, if you are interested, please private message us. We also have a group called Andy's Art and Activation. And that is where we are doing our Facebook Lives. We're keeping it in that little cocoon of a group where people are all pro Andy, and so that's where he does his lives, and he's talking about the paintings. And if you choose to purchase one, would love to see these two go as a pair, these ones he just did. And that, anyway, and so you would get the video that goes along with that, where Andy is describing exactly what it is, and how, when he's finished, I mean, he's done painting, he's put everything of himself into it, but then, we'll just pray over them, we'll resonate over them. And Andy is an amazing shofar blower.
I am.
And so, He is. And so what do you like to do over your work, Andy, with your shofar?
Um, sometimes I get my I get my tallit and I just well, first off, it was in Fort Worth and I have given two shofars for this young man in a wheelchair. Again, this is at Fort Worth, Texas. And then
So you take your two shofars and what do you
yes,
do?
and I blow them two at a time.
And release them into your work.
Yes, and I release them into my work, and I pray over them that they are will that they are receiving the breath of God, the healing of God, going going into my paintings. So I always get my shofars and I kind of blow. I blow one, I blow another, and I blow two of them because when I blow two of them, Paul, it's the sound of the mem. The mem has a sound, and and we as a body, we as sons, we have a sound too, because I am a shofar.
And there's water in the breath too, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, because the breath is the hay, and the mem has to do with waters. So I done a painting called Sounds of Many Waters.
That's sold like immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that Dana that bought that one? Sound of Many Waters? No. There's a
Diana?
different one. Yes, all the living letters. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
anyway, yeah, you could go off on all kinds of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
You're awesome. You're amazing. One
Thank
day
you.
at our own place, Andy will do a conference with some people that we've already talked about.
Yeah.
So just know that
Yes.
invitation is out there and we'll post it when it's time.
Yes.
That the philanthropist, the speaker, the teacher, this man right here it's also a part of No Limits Ranch. We'll do conferences up at our place too.
Yep,
So
yep,
it's
that's right.
it's many faceted.
Yep. That's right. Any questions?
Did we run out of time?
No, you are doing well. Good job.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Let's see if
What else?
Any questions from the audience? From the tens of thousands of people that are joining us, please type into the chat
In the chat?
because one day,
Yep.
when is the next event? Oh,
Oh,
that's good.
that's good.
The next event, because we live here now, what we're doing is we're doing day camps. And so we have two set up for this summer, of which we're going to have 3 families come in one week and 3 families come in the next week. And they have children that have Down syndrome. And so they're going to come in and be able to experience horseback riding in the morning with our therapists that come in and help. You know, they get to sit on the horse and then they walk them around and they, guide them. And then we have a great cheerleading section, which is so much fun. Oh my gosh, we have so much fun when the kids are on the horses. And then when they all get their turn, then if any of the family members want to ride, then after that, then Andy will show how to have horsemanship, but
Connection.
yeah, that connection with your horse. He'll do that with Bojangles. Then we'll break into a yummy, healthy, fun lunch. Then after that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be painting with the horses. We're going to be painting the horses, taking photos of the kids. I know the parents will love it when we've got these great therapy horses that are painted.
Yep.
And then the kids are right in there, doing their work on the horse. And then depending on the time frame, they'll make their own No Limits Ranch t-shirts. And then another thing that we're doing is Andy still paints chairs. And so we want all the family members to come in and to have a part in this series of chairs that we have that will be painted by all the whole team that comes together, that comes to those day camps. And then Andy will finish it off, and then I'll seal it. So we're going to be selling them with tables, tables. We're going to be selling dining room sets right out of No Limits Ranch, and everyone is putting their hand into it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Yes.
And Tina, look what you have behind you.
There you go. The eye of God. Here you go. He's watching you. Tina.
Well, actually, right in the center, what'd you say? It's a portal.
It is a portal.
You can go
Yes.
right
Going
into these
in.
people.
I'm going in.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
pupil.
The people of
As a
this-
matter of fact, we also have some of these prints available.
Yep. We do.
One is
Surprise!
right there. Hanging up.
Yes, there is a way to
Yep.
purchase some of them. Thank you, Deanna, you may private message me, or you can contact us on Telegram.
Yeah. FaceTime.
We just we'll just be very accommodating to everyone, and we're never, no matter how big this kiddo gets, as Yahweh brings him out and gives him a platform, we're all into a relationship. We're about relationship,
Mhm.
That's why people
True.
will travel across the country and book rooms here to come and get their artwork that Andy
Yeah.
has done for them. And as a matter of fact, the owner, Evelyn, if she knows you're coming to get Andy's work, she'll give you buy one, get one free night, and it's just her way of participating. And you will love everything
Yeah.
about the ranch, and you'll meet Andy and can
Yep.
take photos with him. And Tim Bentz, he's the one that saw it,
Oh.
and it's like, he
He's my
said,
friend.
kings are coming to the brightness of your rising. And that's what we're seeing.
Yep.
So
Here we
yeah,
are.
whether you come here to get it or we mail it to you, it's just all good, but we would love to see you.
Yes, of course.
And also we do custom work.
We
If
do.
there's something that you would like, Andy, can
Mhm.
you,
I can name them the Eye of God if you want that. There's a heart of God.
Mhm.
Um,
Can I just say the heart of God is in the office of Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota,
Yep.
because Andy was a part a couple of years ago of the bill that helped save Down syndrome babies in the womb. And to honor her for that opportunity, he traded into her his Heart of God framed print.
That's
That was pretty cool. Yeah. And also many, 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 many babies are saved,
Yes, of
which
course.
was the main thing, of
Yes.
course.
Yes, because
How many other Andys, are like out there? Oh my
well,
gosh.
well, it
Well,
is
I
me.
know there's only one of you, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
There you go.
I love it. I love it.
I'm a Jesus freak,
You are just such a Jesus freak. You are.
I know. He's amazing.
Wait until you really get out there, in the community, and you start
Mhm.
doing these art shows.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now next month he's going to be leading a parade.
I am.
So Andy's getting out there. It's
Yeah, just be real.
It's awesome.
Just be an Andy.
Just be an Andy.
Yep.
You're just a dude. You're
I
a cool
know.
dude.
Thank you.
You are
Yep.
peculiar. And
Yes, I
peculiar
am.
people.
Paul.
Yes.
Boy, I tell you about Paul.
Oh no, don't. Well, the reason he's saying that is because Paul came up to one of our events in June
He did.
and to a hope and a future. And oh my gosh, we loved it.
Hysterical.
Just loved it. Loved it.
He's hysterical.
As a matter of fact, Paul walking into Higher Grounds coffee shop,
Oh no.
the thing and the lizard t-shirt and everything, it's like Pagosa needs Paul. And when we had him here for that week, it was like, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this is my brother.
Yep.
This is good.
Paul the Apostle.
That's right. Right. I'll be back. I will be back.
Yes, you will.
Yes, you
Yes,
will.
you will.
That's what I said. Yeah, of course, and Eric. I love Nicole. Eric. I mean, like Nicole was amazing. She is, and I just want to give her a big hug, from me, of course, and kiss to her for my mom.
And
I can
also,
definitely do
guys,
that.
just FYI
Okay.
to you, I'm saying this. This came from Wisdom herself. when she said in 2024, you will have the full package with 28 lions. So be watching out in 2024. We will be rebranded
Mm-hmm.
and a new whole web design for No Limits Ranch. And that is who Andy is talking about. Nicole, that's
Yep.
Eric's wife with 28 lions.
That's right.
And Zachi
Oh, she's amazing.
loves.
Loves to her.
Yes.
That's right.
What we truly have here is just family. We are in relationship with one another. When we say it takes a village, we mean in every aspect, to raise kids, to raise businesses, to raise up each other. Whatever it is you're doing, it takes more than you. We are more better together than we are individually trying to handle anything, whether it be something amazing, something great, or just some emotion that we're having. And that's what we do at ATS. We're just family, living lives, building together, spreading the frequency, spreading our energy, spreading synergistic, you know. I mean, we're just in relationship. So, and there's room for all. We have lived and been brought up in a world of this is mine and I'm greedy and don't get in my lane. Hey, we all walk in one another's lane, and we have saw such great things come out of it. Just great improvement by standing with each other and walking arm in arm and side by side, knowing that there's room and there's enough for all of us, no matter what you're doing.
That's good.
Yep.
Yep. Hallelujah.
Well, I would say on that note,
On that frequency,
let us.
High note.
That's right. Do you have any closing things you want to share before we close out this time with you guys?
Sure.
Okay. Keep it short.
Okay. 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 I love you all. You're such amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for to invite me as a guest. I'm so honored to just to speak what is in my heart. Me me to share, and I just want to say thank you all of you, Eric, Paul, Tina, and of course Jeff
And
Jeff,
Chris.
and Chris and all the gang.
And what do you say when we end a Facebook Live?
I always say, I can live with no limits. I can, and so can you. Please set.
powerful.
Love you too.
Thank
man.
you, everybody. We love you.
Love you too.
And everyone watching in the days to come.
Chrissy, kiss to the father.
All right, love you guys. Thanks for joining our day ATS Voices. We will see you again soon. Love you.